Welcome. I'm Halcyon, and this is the Hug Nation broadcast. Today we are live from Pink Porch Camp. It is an extension of Pink Heart. It is one of the ways that I practiced participating in Burning Man 2020, even though chose not to go to the Black Rock Desert. And it has been so much more than I expected, so much more than I hoped, which is the reason why it is still up. Burning Man technically ended a week ago, but we have left this up. In fact, over the weekend, grabbed additional lights, additional fabric, and have started to kind of dial it in and make it even better and cooler. It's kind of like how Burning Man is. And, the first year of Pink Heart, it was awesome. And then we kept thinking, we can make it better. So next year, we brought different things and more things and made it better and better. And this is iterative process that the whole city is. You learn and you grow and you make it better. But this year, no reason why instead of taking a week a year, just a week each week, making it better, making it better, making it better. So we're continuing in the iterative growth of Pink Porch Camp. Now, how long we're going to do this? A couple factors. First is weather. I've been leaving things out. The fabric, the pop-up, these things are not weatherproof. So as long as it is warm and non-rainy, I think it is realistic to continue to have this be a semi-permanent part of the world. And the other kind of factor is, as long as this continues to be a beautiful gifting experience, as long as I continue to have experiences meeting neighbors, having these connections, then I'm going to keep going. But, each day it feels like a few more neighbors stop by, or somebody hears about it or tells a friend, or a friend comes by, and I end up having awesome conversations. And really, I feel like having those rippling effects of people kind of getting gifting or getting the things that I appreciate about Burning Man and Black Rock City in the default world. And really, I feel like that is... Burning Man means nothing if it is a isolated experiment that 70,000 people get to play in the desert. If it is a thing that changes who we are and how we interact with the world, then it's worth putting massive energy and massive time in it. That's where I'm at right now. Yeah, we're stocked with gifts. We've got buttons and vegan ice cream and chilled cucumber water, stickers. And what's been amazing is the number of neighbors that have returned after listening to stories about Burning Man and receiving gifts, and they've come back and brought flowers. Last night, a young guy came back with a plate of brownies that he had just baked. People have shared their art. People have brought, alcohol, and it's been very much the magical Pink Heart Burning Man theme camp experience. So last night I had a pretty significant kind of epiphany lesson, a deeper one that I have kind of expected. And that there's been a number of those, where people have come by, friends of Nick, who is one of my campmates that killed himself. We have over here a chair that's got Nick's jacket on it, and it's been there all week. Nick's presence, being at home in the Pink Lounge, which I think is, took this to a next level. But last night, I was sharing with some of the visitors here, 3 neighbors that I just met, and Janus, who I recently did a video with, talking about what it's like to be a burner and entrepreneur as a Black man in America. And as we were talking about the experience that I've had here, I shared some of the fears that I've had, and some of the like thinking about initially when I decided that, yes, we're going to do this, we're going to put this up. I was worried, like, what if people don't respond well? I'm used to most people loving seeing a guy in pink hair ride by on a fur bike, but not everyone. And it's a big difference to have someone drive by in a truck and yell something at me versus somebody drive by in a truck and know where I live. And, I have had a few experiences recently with isolated neighbors that have harbored really kind of angry and very negative opinions about me. And in fact, last night, as we were setting things up, somebody in the darkness walked by and said, "Fuck you, pink heart." Now, I think they were just having a laugh, but there's this unease of knowing there are people out there in the darkness that know where I live and have judgments about me without knowing me. And I had the awareness last night, and I was like, I want to tread lightly on this topic, but I'm appreciating this experience of maybe a subtle lack of safety, but knowing there are people out there that don't like me, and I don't know the degree of which they don't like me. And I said, it gives me a little teeny tiny peek of what it must be like to be BIPOC, to be a person of color, and know that there are people out there. And Janusz just kind of chuckled and was like, I was kind of waiting for you to come to that. He goes, what's it like? What's it like to know that there are people out there judging you who don't know you? And so I'm grateful for this unease, because that's one of the things that I think that it is really difficult to get your head around with privilege. You know, that feeling of general lack of safety. And it's something that, I think all women are familiar with. That kind of deep down knowledge that there are men out there that are violent, and you cannot predict how they're going to react. And there is a sense of lack of safety, and just how that kind of affects your overall presence in the world in a way that someone who does not have that fear as a white man, I can't put my head around it. And I can't understand what it is like to be a person of color and know that when you move into a neighborhood, there is going to be people that wish you didn't move in. And it doesn't take very many, just knowing they're out there, to affect the way you walk in the world. And the general sense of a Black parent knowing the way they have to teach and coach their kids to make sure that they don't, on the off chance they cross paths with a bad apple, that they don't get killed. And even though, the majority of your life, you might not have those experiences, it's possible. And it affects everything. And it's not something that you can look at with statistics. And so if someone is arguing about, there is no white privilege, racism doesn't exist, and you're perpetuating, it's like, I don't know. I can't imagine. But experiences like that awareness of last night, I think gives me this appreciation of something that must taint or affect the way that someone shows up in the world who does not have that obvious knowledge of safety, whether that is a woman, person of color, transgender, anybody that knows that there are people out there that are judging you without knowing you. And so, part of, I think, I wonder, would I have been this bold in the neighborhood if I did not have the safety of my privilege? I don't know. And it kind of makes me feel even more responsible to shine when I can, under the safety net of that privilege. So I don't know. It was a beautiful gift, but that is part of the beauty of this gift and of Burning Man in general, is stretching into these places that are different and unusual and uncomfortable, and hopefully, not having just an experience of party, but also of stretching and learning that maybe there's more to you, or there's more to other people, or there's more to learn, and that maybe we're more connected in deeper and deeper ways. So that has been an incredible gift. And the other gift has been these connections to neighbors. I've met more neighbors in the last 2 weeks than I met in the last 2 years. And that's on me. I did not make the effort to sit on my porch and wave to neighbors, but I have the last 2 weeks. And so I'm really grateful for this push to be that person in the world that I want to be. It's what I think Burning Man helps us do. Is when you have the supportive environment of Black Rock City, you step into the person that you want to be, and people celebrate it. And that's the challenge, to continue doing that when you don't have that same support. And that is why Pink Porch Camp still stays up, because of the incredible beauty and connection and the responsibility. So I hope that someday soon we can share hugs of some sort, or cucumber water, or vegan ice cream. I hope that you find a way to set up your Pink Porch Camp in your world. Stretch into your relationship with your neighbors. Acknowledge we are all so much more alike than we are different. I know that I am, in addition to the privilege of my birth, I also am so privileged to be in this neighborhood. My neighbors are so awesome, and it's so open and affirming here. And I recognize that not everybody has that same security. In fact, when I was preparing to travel around the country for our road trip, I wanted to dye my hair pink before we went, and decided that why push it? Why put that possibility out there that I might cross paths with somebody who would judge me for no reason? And I recognize that what a gift to make that choice, to decide that I'm not going to consciously add to the way I walk in the world something that has risk involved. And what an important recognition that there are so many people that don't have that opportunity to choose, and simply have to be courageous and face that on a daily basis. So thank you for letting me continue to learn and grow, and your patience with me, and thank you for being you. I love you. I should let people know and remind people that I am a part of a gratitude circle, and we meet every day at noon and 6. It is, speaking of safe spaces and places to have a supportive community, without the Black Rock Desert and Black Rock City on a daily basis, it's so important to have something that is that support, whether it's your partner, whether it's your family, your theme camp, or a community of people that come together purely for the reason of sharing gratitude and supporting one another. So I invite you to tune in. You can just listen if you want. You can say pass or skip. The way we work it is that everybody gets a minute or two, but if you want to go next, you just raise your hand. And if you don't raise your hand, you can just sit and listen. But if you've got something in your world that you are appreciating and you're grateful for, it's so nice to let other people be enhanced by your awareness, by your joy. Someone this morning, this couple was there hugging that had been reunited recently, and they were just like glowing in appreciation of one another and what each had brought to each other's sense of gratitude in that moment in recent weeks. And it was like, as they shared, like everyone in the room was just like, yay! Oh. There's this, sympathetic joy that a group gratitude practice has, and I would love for you to feel it.